It's a pitch black night. You can hear no sounds. As you turn, there it is, eyes glowing red, slowly moving towards you. Hi guys, I hope you are all well. Welcome back to the channel and this week's new video. Today we will be talking about a Revenant. This ghost is one of Phasmophobia's more tricky entities. It's described as the fastest moving ghost, so you better hope you're far enough away when it decides to hunt. Phasmophobia lore says this about a Revenant. A Revenant is a slow but violent ghost that will attack its victims indiscriminately. Additionally, it has been rumoured to travel at an alarmingly high speed when hunting. A Revenant's strengths. When hunting a victim, a Revenant will travel faster. A Revenant's weaknesses. Hiding from a Revenant will cause it to move very slowly. So now, let's find out what folklore has to say about the Revenant, and let's see how it relates to Phasmophobia lore. Stories of Revenants first started to appear around the 9th and 10th centuries, with some tales believed to be earlier. The word Revenant is derived from the Latin word revenans, meaning returning. In French, Revenant means coming back from the verb revenir, meaning to come back. Revenants are believed to be visible ghosts, or in most cases, reanimated corpses. These corpses are said to return from their graves in order to terrorize the living. A Revenant is a creature that causes so much fear among the living. It is believed that when a truly wicked person dies, their restless soul would be able to reanimate their corpses in order to carry out their malevolent and cruel deeds. It was thought that these souls that created Revenants were associated with a different type of evil. Often, in stories, the Revenants are associated with spreading of mass plagues and diseases among the living, adding to why these entities were greatly feared. It is believed that there are many different types of Revenants that have existed throughout time. We have spoken of one type so far, which is the soul reanimating its own corpse. Stories from Eastern Europe tell of supposed werewolves that came back to hunt the living because they had not been properly killed. These Revenant werewolves were believed to roam fresh battlefields so they could drink the blood of dying soldiers. Due to there being so many stories of Revenants drinking blood, tales began of Revenants being like vampires or vampire-like creatures. While it is true vampires and Revenants both drink blood, it is for very different reasons. Within vampire lore, it is known that blood is drank in order to survive, whereas Revenants do not need blood or any other substance to survive. It is told they drink the blood out of pure hatred for their victims. Due to these differences, it is very unlikely that the two were ever intended to be true. It feels like stories of the two had been slightly mixed over the times, leaving many to believe that drinking of blood was taken from vampire lore. The physical appearance of a Revenant is enough to turn anyone's blood cold. After reanimating a corpse and climbing its way out of a freshly dug grave, I'm sure you will not be surprised to hear of the sightings of putrefied and rotten flesh, fingers bloodied from clawing at its own coffin lid, and the eyes that seem to glow with a deep blood red in the night. So, how do you destroy a Revenant and stop it from returning to our world? As we already know, Revenants are a spirit known for reanimating its corpse, so it is believed the safest way to rid one is to dig up the grave of a suspected Revenant during daylight. This is because at night, when reanimated, this spirit is at its strongest. Once the grave is located during the daylight hours, it is hastily dug up, the heart is removed, and then destroyed. The corpse would then be sprinkled with holy water before being burned. The ashes were collected and buried after being blessed. Now it's time for me to take you on a chilling journey to early Britain during the 9th century. There were 2 villagers living in Strappen Hill, under the jurisdiction of the Abbot of Burton. They ran away to the neighbouring village called Dracelaw, wrongfully leaving their lords, the monks, and wishing to live under the authority of Count Roger. The abbot ordered that the 2's crops be taken to his own barn, but the villagers then falsely accused the abbot of wrongdoing. This led to a dispute between Count Roger and Burton Abbey at a place called Blackpool. The very next day, at the 3rd hour, the 2 runaway peasants, who were the cause of this evil, were sitting down to eat, when they were both suddenly struck down dead. The next morning they were placed in wooden coffins and buried in the churchyard at Strappen Hill, the village from whence they had fled. What followed was amazing and truly remarkable. That very same day on which they were interred, they appeared at evening, while the sun was still up, at Dracelaw, carrying on their shoulders the wooden coffins in which they had been buried. The whole following night they walked through the paths and fields of the village. They spoke to the other peasants, banging on the walls of their houses and shouting, "Move! Quicker! Move! Get going! Come!" When these astonishing events had taken place every evening and every night for some time, such a disease afflicted the village, and all the peasants except 3 perished suddenly in the night. Men were living in terror of the phantom dead men who carried their coffins every night. These men received permission from the bishop to go to the graves and dig them up. They found them intact, but their faces were covered in blood. They cut off the men's heads and placed them in the graves between their legs. They tore out the hearts from the corpses and covered the bodies once again. The hearts were taken to holy ground, where they were burnt from morning till night. Soon after this was done, the deaths and phantoms ceased. Dracelaw was abandoned, and no one dare live there out of fear. So guys, as I'm sure you can all tell, the Revenant was definitely something not to be messed with. Whether a reanimated corpse, werewolf or vampire type creature, we can all agree it is truly terrifying. This spirit from medieval times seemed to die out as times became more modernised, with them completely vanishing by the 1800s. Most Revenants are now that of stories meant to scare. But be careful on clear still nights, as you too may see those red glowing eyes moving towards you. So guys, thank you all for the support. You have all been amazing. Please head over to my Twitch for more fun content, and until next time, stay spooky. Please like and subscribe if not already, and we will catch you in the next video.